Good morning, folks. This is Jamie on a chat trap right here on Relax Radio. Now, we are spelled without the X in relax because we believe in absolute positivity. And if you just need a little bit of a push, if you need a little bit of energy to get going with your day, all you got to do is make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relax Radio. Now, listen, one thing that I was talking about to you continuously today is how exactly can we get positive? Okay, how can we eliminate the negative thoughts in our everyday day-to-day lives, and how can we be more positive? Well, I have a little tip and, well, advice that I want to share with you. And firstly, I feel like when it comes to me also, I do try to eliminate all possible negative thoughts. But one thing that I feel like happens to all of us as human beings, when we try to be negative, when we try to be positive, and we try to put away thoughts of negativity, at the end of the day, I feel like that's what you're going to end up thinking of the most. Okay, because I feel like getting your mind off certain things is so much easier said than done. And when people are instructed to not think about a certain topic, it just makes it so much harder to stop thinking about that topic. Okay, but at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you, and this is so true, this is something that I've experienced and I've felt. Rehashing negative thoughts over and over in your head, also known as rumination, can be so unpleasant and be so counterproductive, which is why it can lead to things like depression if it's not managed. So, we were talking about the science of happiness today, and one thing that I do want to talk to you about is how you can get rid of all of these negative thoughts. Now, me being a person that overthinks quite a lot, and I guess at the end of the day, it does tend to lead to a lot of unpleasant thoughts and negative thoughts, and a lot of. I did speak about self sabotage earlier as well. It leads to a lot of self sabotaging thoughts and behaviors. Now, how exactly do we get rid of this? Because nobody wants negativity in their lives, right? And I am here to help you get that little positive spin that you need on a everyday basis. Well, first of all, what I do want to tell you is to remove all those negative thoughts. One thing that you can do is keep yourself distracted. Now, if you're facing something that you absolutely want to get rid of, I have a little trick that I do follow, that I was told this by a friend actually, that I still follow up to date. Now, what exactly do I do? This is something that I call mind shopping. Now, shopping is something that I absolutely love to do. So what I do is, when I'm thinking of something negative and I can't get rid of that thought, I distract myself by mind shopping. Now, what I do, I know this sounds a little, well, what is she talking about? But hear me out for a second, because this actually does work. Now, what I want you to do is close your eyes for a second and imagine yourself in a grocery store. Okay, imagine yourself going over the aisles, picking out what you want, and thinking of, what's going to be best for me to have this week. Or if you're not a grocery stop shopping sort of person, well, then don't worry. Think about a clothing store or doing what you love. Just make sure that you picture something in your head that will keep you distracted enough to get rid of that negative thought. And I feel like the moment you do that, um, you're just going to automatically, that you're going to eliminate that negative thought. And I guess that's what matters at the end of the day. So I do want you to do something or think of something that is going to put your mind give your mind a task rather. So one thing that I do is put myself, have this mind shopping trick, because it genuinely does work for me. But one thing that you can do is puzzles or tips or tricks are things that you can do to get yourself rid of any negativity. Now, second thing that you can do to get rid of any negative thoughts and any self-sabotaging behaviors is your company. Now, I cannot tell you enough. I cannot stress enough on how important the people you hang out with are. Because I feel like at the end of the day, when you do hang out with people, everybody exudes a certain type of energy, right? And if you are around people that give out positive energy, that give out a very confident energy, that's the kind of energy that you're going to focus in yourself. Because at the end of the day, I truly believe that what you focus in life where you put your focus is what your life is going to be like, right? So that is why company is so important. If you are trying to get rid of negative thoughts and negative behaviors, all you got to do is make sure that you stop hanging around the people that engage you in those negative thoughts or negative behaviors. Now I know that can be a little hard, that can be a little trying, because maybe you like to hang out with these people, but at the end of the day, I don't know if this is going to sound a little selfish, but at the end of the day, what's most important is you and yourself. So always put yourself first. Forget about social standards, forget about social constructs, and put yourself first. Always think to yourself, what is best for me as a person? What is going to help me to be a more positive, more productive person? Now, one thing that I've come to realize in my life, I know I'm just 20 years old, but I feel like I have had a lot of different sets of friends and I've hung out with a lot of different people. Now, what this teaches me at the end of the day is that it's so important to choose who you hang out with and to choose your situations. Now, a lot of us feel like the absolute goal in life is to be financially stable, is to get a good job. But I feel like at the end of the day, if this job that you're doing isn't making you happy, then what's the point of being financially stable? Right? See, the reason why we want to, engage in jobs or study harder is because at the end of the day, we want to be we want to live a happy life. We want to have a good job so that we can buy things that we love and make ourselves happy. But at the end of the day, if this job that you do, if this career path that you take, or whatever you're educating yourself in isn't making you happy, then what's the point of doing it? And I guess the most simple way to be happy in life is to figure out what you enjoy. Now I know this can be quite confusing to figure out what you enjoy. That's why I want you to start out with the little things. Like I told you before, make sure that you enjoy the little things in life. It can be when you're going down a street and you see something, make sure that you take in these little things and start appreciating them more and more. And I guarantee you, you are going to be a happier person. Now, these are little things that you can do to be a bit more productive. Make sure that you have company that is good for you. Make sure that you distract yourself every time you think of something that is self-sabotaging or that is negative. And speaking of self-sabotaging, actually, I feel like for me personally, I was one person that judged myself the hardest, because at one point in life, I always had goals that were unreachable. I had dreams that were too hard to achieve, and I was always extremely hard on myself. And that is one way that you can sabotage your own life. And I feel like at the end of the day, more than other people, sabotaging my life or creating negativity in my life, it's me myself that creates this negative energy. So to get out of it, make sure that you find what you're passionate about. Okay, I know you've heard this about 100 times, but it's so important that you figure out what do you love to do, and that doesn't depend on what your family wants you to do or what society deems to be an elite passion or an elite job. Just figure out what you love to do, and when you do, trust me, life just gets so much more interesting, and you have a drive to wake up every morning. And when you do have that, I feel like is when you attain ultimate happiness. Now, that's a little inspiration for me, Jamie. This is, of course, the Chat Trap, where we trap you with the best of conversation. We've had a lot of interesting conversation today. We spoke about the Grammy Awards that happened day before yesterday. We spoke about diversity that happens, that is absolutely amazing in all fields. Now, with that being said, I just want to say that we have a lot more interesting content coming up. So make sure that you keep it tuned right here on the Relax Radio.